We are now live with Let's Talk AR. If you are on the watching end and if you want me to pull you in, there is a boxes above the video, 9 little squares. If you click on that, you should see Q&A. And if you type in there, I will see your message and I can try pulling you in so that you can join us to watch or to participate. If you just want to stay out there watching, that's fine. If you have questions or comments, you can always post them in the Q&A. Let's see. And you're new, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell the people that are watching your experience and what you've made with augmented reality.
Sure. I'm Lilo Stevens, and I teach 7th grade social studies in Arlington, Virginia. I have what's called a smart collaborative classroom, which is a room with multiple smart boards, interactive whiteboards, and it's my 2nd year teaching in that landscape. And this past year, I learned about Erasma through Twitter, and I always had this idea for an interactive timeline. And so I have this very large timeline installed in the hallway outside my room that our tech ed teacher helped my students create with the vinyl cling numbers. And so when I learned about Erasma, that was my first entrance into augmented reality. And so what we did was the students had to pick an event and they had to create a presentation that was a minute or less. We videotaped about that event. We videotaped it. And so then I had the images of those events up on the timeline linked to their videos. And so then I gave students a timeline scavenger hunt, and they had to go to all the events with their iPads and listen to the presentations and find the artifacts that they needed to find on the timeline to complete their scavenger hunt. And if they were done, once they got done, they got a certificate saying that they were a Time Lord.
I love that project idea. What an awesome interactive way to do a timeline. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, you did it with Erasmus, so did you do it in the studio or on the iPad?
I did it on the studio. I got it from a blog from one of the people that I follow on Twitter on how to do it, and he kept talking about channels. And I set up my account the way that I was instructed to do, and I saw nothing there, and it was in studio, and there was nothing in there about creating a channel. And then when I looked at all the comments that people were making that was on the website, they all talked about channels. So I sent a message to the help desk at Erasma. It was 2 weeks before I got a response because I didn't have the premium, the paid platform. I was still on the freebie. But they did get back to me and said to me that they had set it up so on Studio that it would only be for one device, and that if I wanted to use multiple devices, I would have to give my login information to each person with a device. So instead of doing that, I had a class set of iPads, and it didn't take me long to log in my account on all the iPads. It only took a few minutes, and then that way I kept my login information. And I did not have a channel. They told me it really wasn't set up to do that through Studio.
See, and I have a Studio account, and I had to create a public channel.
Yeah.
I had to tie it with my school.
Yeah.
So that just confuses me why they said that wasn't possible. I wonder what type of Studio account you had, if there's different ones, because I do believe mine was an educator one. And I had to put in my school information and all that, and then I had to make a channel underneath that.
You know, I don't think mine is specifically an educator account. I'll have to go back and look at that because I can't remember if I had to put in my school information or not.
Okay,
but it worked. I mean, it worked, and I saw a post that you wrote that it can be very glitchy when you do set up a channel. So there was no glitchiness doing it the way that I did by just logging in myself before I handed out the iPads to the students, and then they just went off and did the scavenger hunt. So there was no problem with that. And,
well, that's good to hear.
Once I learned how to do it, I showed it to some colleagues at my school, and we're an arts focused and a technology focused school. And so a big deal with arts integration is to document it, because we have a partnership with the Kennedy Center in DC. And so I was showing the teacher who's in charge of the arts focus how this could be used for documentation. When we're displaying children's art, then videotape the child talking about the process that they went through and what their inspiration was and what their goal was and what they hope to achieve with their art, and then have the person, you have visitors locate that with iPads. And so this staff member did exactly that for a festival that we had, and now I've been told that she's gotten the art teacher interested in augmented reality. So the word is spreading, and
Awesome.
so I'm really happy about that.
That is awesome. I've got one person trying to get in, so give me 1 second. I'll see if I can't pull her in. Google is not liking me today. I've got so many things I want to do, and it doesn't want to do it. And I see, Jean, I know you're there, and I'm trying to pull you in, but for some reason, your phone account is not showing up. Wow, crazy. So, Jean, if you have questions or comments, you know how to use the Q&A, and I am so sorry I can't pull you in. Google and I are fighting today. We have this love-hate relationship. I do that with all technology, though. Well, I love your project, and I love the way you're incorporating art and having students tell about that. Is amazing.
Thank you.
Do you blog about it so that you can share?
I haven't started blogging yet. I'm not a digital native. I'm going to be 59 next month. And so I'm very new to all of this, but I'm a very willing learner. And so I was just telling my daughter, whom I'm visiting right now, that I have over 300 followers on Twitter, and I think that's blowing her mind that her 59-year-old mother has 300 followers on Twitter. But I've just got into it about a year ago, and it's really opened up my world in terms of my growth professionally and the access that I have to resources. And that's how I found out about Erasma and about you. And so I'm taking it step at a time, and I'm definitely growing in the technology. Plus, we're going to have one-to-one iPads next year as well. So it's going to continue to grow in many directions for me.
How many students do you have that's going one-to-one?
All of them. Well, all the 7th grade. Our county started an initiative where all 6th graders in the county, we're a small county, all 6th graders in the county were to get iPads. And so they did. And now those 6th graders are coming to me and to the rest of the 7th grade with their iPads. So we 7th grade teachers are now trying to figure out how to integrate them effectively and meaningfully. And I saw your video of mobile learning, and I really appreciated what you were saying about you don't grade the use of the tool, you grade the content and the objective. Did they meet the objective? And I thought that was a really important point for me to learn. And so I got a few things from that too. I watched that yesterday.
Awesome. I never know who watches what I record, so it's great to actually finally meet somebody that has watched something I recorded.
Yes, I did. I watched it. I wasn't able to make it at the time that you were actually airing it, but I was really happy to see that you had recorded it. And so I watched it later that evening, and really appreciated the things that you had to say, because it helped me understand a little bit better what I was getting into and what's expected of me in terms of facilitating it.
Awesome. And since you're going all one-to-one with your 7th graders and iPads, are they going to be able to manage their own apps, or is the school going to load them for them?
The way that I understand it, there's an app catalog, and I think that the school is doing it for them, but I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay, we our first year, because we went one-to-one not last year, but the year before, we controlled it, and it became too much for the tech department because each teacher wanted different apps and wanted to use it differently. Sharing things that kids couldn't share because the iPads were locked down so much due to that. So last year, they opened it up and the kids had to have their own Apple ID and they started managing their own apps.
Okay.
So I've been on both sides now, and if you need help, holler, because I
appreciate that.
I lived through both scenarios.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you very much.
Okay, and we do have, let's see, what are we talking about? Tim, we are talking about augmented reality for education. So if you have any questions or if you want me to pull you in, I can, so that you can talk one-to-one with us. Susan, I tried pulling you in a couple of times. Not for sure if you are getting it. It may sound like a phone call for you. So I can try one more time and see if we can get you pulled in. Let's see, Valerie, I would like to do some AR in my class this year as well for my productions this year. Awesome. Do you know what tool or platform you would like to use, Valerie? There's a couple. There's Erasmus. I do not prefer Erasmus. It's too glitchy. There's a lot of hoops you got to go through. It's not as safe as some of the others. Daiquiri right now, Studio, is not taking any new accounts. I'm not for sure when they're going to open that up. They're redoing some login platform things, so I'm not for sure when they're going to open that up. So you'll need to keep your eye on that one. It's easy to use. It's drag and drop. Layar does have an educational one, and it's drag and drop as well. And you can do multiple pages with one. They call it I forget what they call it, like catalog, or if Doug was on, he could really explain Layar. He uses that one a lot in his classroom. I started off with Layar and I moved on to Daiquiri, and now I'm moving on to Augmented. Augmented is also changing their platform. They're going to make it so that students, and I see Doug, so let me pull Doug in. Hang on just a second. His ears must have been burning. And there's Doug. Tim, you're welcome to join us. So if you want to at any time, if you'll send me a message, I will try and pull you in. If you have questions, you know how to use this Q&A because I've got a couple of them. Feel free to post a question and I will try to answer it, or have somebody in the panel try to answer it the best to our ability. And Susan, you can see me and ask questions. There's Doug. Hi, Doug.
Howdy.
Were your ears burning?
No, but I didn't get an invite.
See, Google all day today. I've been doing Hangouts, and it's not working right. I'm not sure what's going on because it doesn't even show the people that say that they wanted to watch. Because normally I get a list, and I'm not seeing anything. Crazy.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, Susan, I can try one more time to get you pulled back in, or pull you in. Because I do see you in the list, or see you in the... It's got to match the right picture with the right... There's a lot of them. So Susan, if you get a phone call, that's me. I'm calling you. And click accept. Okay, Valerie, if you don't mind listening those in the Q&A section, that would be great. I can't type in the Q&A section. All I can do is read and select them and say done. But I can tweet them out or put them in the group of the different creator apps. so that you can go and try them out for yourself. Sometimes being the presenter, you don't get I can't type in that, so I wish I could. I would like to, I was doing that one. Okay, the layer tech team is very responsible. I have figured out how to use it. Awesome. Like I said, layer was my first one that I tried, and it's been, I want to say almost 2 years ago, learning how to do it. And Doug, ears must have been burning because I mentioned you, and all of a sudden I got a message saying, if we're going tonight. So would you like to share, because we do have a couple people watching and a couple new people watching, about layer and how you use it in the classroom, Doug?
Sure. Is there a specific question? I mean, it's really a pretty robust tool set, and Layer was purchased, by the way, in the event that you didn't know this, but this past spring, Layer was purchased by Blipper. So Blipper and Layer are actually the same company now, but they've kept their platforms separate, even though they pretty much do the same things. Their beginnings in life were targeted for the retail market. And it's only been the last year or so that they've really seen that there's a potential growth sector in the education field, but they've really been, as Katie will tell you, kind of slow to embrace that. So, but one of the issues is cost, and they're a pretty expensive tool, and the way that I deal with that is I use their creator tool, which requires an account, like most other things, and I never publish the work that I do. I just share the campaigns or the AR designs I make. I have my students log into the Layer app, and actually I don't have them log. I log them in. They never are told what the user IDs and passwords are for the account, so security is not an issue for me. And since it's never published, I kind of live in a sandbox that's safe from an appropriate standpoint, and it doesn't really cost me anything. The only downside was Layer at one point scaled back some of their widgets that used to be free that I suddenly couldn't use anymore because I didn't have $5,000 to become a premium member. So, but I'll get around that, and I expect them to I don't know. I expect they'll smell the roses at one point and understand that the education field is really a different niche than the rest of their clients. So the thing that I like about Layer is if you're interested in using 3D objects, the 3D objects are interactive, which means you can connect them to audio, to video, or to any other digital content, including websites. And I really like that a lot. The tool's very easy to use, just as easy as the other ones, and I don't know. Right now, that's my tool of preference, but I am using Daiquiri a lot. I'm using Augmented a little bit. I've kind of dropped the Rasma because it's just a little too bumpy, and I continue to have problems with Daiquiri too, but they're not Daiquiri's problems per se. But anyway, if you have specific questions about Layer or Blipper, I can answer them. And I don't know if there are any specific ones.
We just started talking. We hadn't gotten that far yet.
I think Layer has the most robust set of tools, and that can be a good thing or it can be a difficult thing. It depends on where you're at in the learning curve and how much control you want over your content, how much time you have to spend on things. I like the ability to be original and in control of the content. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning in that direction. But I use a lot of different platforms. Daiquiri does a number of things that Layer doesn't do, and Layer does a number of things that Daiquiri doesn't do, for instance. So.
When it comes to tech and tools, I like to say they're like a pair of shoes. You're going to use the one that fits your needs at the time. Yep. So you kind of need to know what your needs are, and then depending on that, that's the tool I would suggest that you use. Yep. I use Daiquiri when I need something done like this because I can publish it myself. The cost thing, that's the reason I quit using Layar, and they got rid of some of the widgets I wanted to use, or I had to pay for them, is the reason I quit using Layar. I haven't really played a lot with Blipbar. I don't know. It's a preference. It's going to be like a pair of shoes. You're going to use what you need to use, and you're going to use what's comfortable for you. And everybody has different needs.
And our needs change over time, too.
Right.
As you get more comfortable with the things that you're trying to do and you want to take on new ideas and things like that, you might find it necessary to change platforms. And that's fine. We're all going to be changing platforms all the time anyway, because this stuff is a moving target for all of us. So.
And it's ever changing. Susan says she teaches ESL and would like to figure out a way to use it for reading. She wants to make reading more interactive. I could think of tons of ways to make reading interactive, from interactive word walls, augmenting maybe a page and having a student read it and record it and then augment that part. Maybe create some animations using like Amoto or Telegami and have them, maybe tell the story or summarize the story or, pull out key vocabulary for the stories. There's many, many ways to get reading interactive. If your books have like different settings, you can use a 360-degree environment trigger. Or we were talking with a teacher in Texas today, and she did some stories with a farm. And I thought how cool that would be to have three-dimensional farm animals in a barn and a tractor, because a lot of kids don't ever see those. I just happen to be in that kind of country where I see it all the time. But if you're in a big city like Chicago and you never leave that area, you're not going to know what a tractor is. So you could add three-dimensional objects to your stories. You can make an interactive notebook for your stories. So there's so many things that you can do, especially with ESL. That would be awesome. Animated lessons. Having I'm building some kindergarten ones right now, so that's just popping in my head. Having somebody with the words going across the screen, spelling out the vocabulary, and having a kid read it and spell it and maybe tell the definition would be awesome, and that would be great for an interactive notebook. Ooh, we're getting lots of things popping up. Oh no, we lost you. Do you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Huh.
You don't see me anymore?
I see ya. That's crazy. Like, Google really is not liking me today. And hopefully, Susan, hopefully you got me back. It could be your connection. Not for sure. Okay, and Valerie would like me to expand more on the 360-degree environments. Those are awesome. Those are mind-blowing. And those are offered by AugThat. The app you'll need, and I can do a screen share, and they do have a demo page up now. The app is called Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality. The company is AugThat. Let me get that pulled up. And Adam couldn't be on tonight, so he would be the best one to show this, but it's okay. I can do it. I'm going to show my screen so that you can see it. Do you see my screen, Doug?
I can see your screen.
Awesome. Okay. If you go to AugThat, they have a demo page. It says try it for yourself. And you click on that, and once you have their app, and they give you instructions of how to use the app, they have different triggers. They have a 3D experience trigger, and this one is a solar system. It's really cool. And you can print these out. These are ones that you can use. This is a 360-degree experience. So once you get the app and you load it onto your iPad or smartphone, whatever device you're using, and you can use it for the Android or the Apple. They have it for both. If you are downloading it from the Android store or the Google Play Store, it is Augthat in there. And on the Apple side, it's Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality, or it spells out STAR. And once you launch the app, you're going to click Start Lesson, and then you'll get some buttons, and you'll choose the 360 button. It's in the middle of the screen, and then you scan. You hold your device over the picture and you scan it, and once it loads on your device, you can pull your device away from the image, and then you can literally spin around, look up, look down, look behind you, literally 360 degrees. That's why they call it a 360-degree experience. And you're in the middle of this environment. And they have, I want to say you told me they have 160 different 360 environments. They have, this one's the ocean, and the kids love this one because they spin around and they find the fish. And so there's some fish in there. They have one on top of a mountain, on a volcano, in some, I can't remember which city, I want to say London, a place in London. So they have city ones, they have buildings, different buildings, they have the Grand Canyon, 160, so, and they're constantly adding to their library. And I know how to make them myself, so I can teach you one-on-one. That would be a personal consult. If you become, really good friends with me, I'll teach you how to make your own, and you can, if you go on a field trip or anywhere, or you want to do explore your school, you can create a 360 environment and augment that. So this is one of my favorite ones. Okay, now I'm back. Okay, now I got lots more questions. Okay, so we did that one. That is awesome. I'm certainly going to use it this fall. Great, Valerie. And I expanded. I'm checking all these off. Okay. So, Susan, yes, you can create your own 360-degree environment. It is a one-on-one with me and you, and I will walk you through how to do it. It depends on your device and what access to the apps that you have, and then I can walk you through that, and then I have to teach you how to share it with Augthat. So it does take a little more time, and it's a little bit more intense than just creating a regular trigger. But yes, you can create your own. Okay. Now I threw a whole bunch out at Lilo. Do you have any questions?
I wanted to ask Doug, how does he use augmented reality with his students?
Okay, you're freezing on me. Can you repeat that?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. It just froze really weird when you were talking.
All right, I was just curious as to what kind of projects his students do with augmented reality.
Student-created projects or projects that we create for them to use, or both.
Or both. I'm just so new to this, so I'm just wondering how it's used. How is Doug using it in his classroom?
He uses it a lot.
Yeah, school finally ended. Wasn't sure whether it was going to end this year or not, but it finally did last week. And I counted up. I have 97 active augmented reality pages that I'm using in school, and some of them are throwaways. In other words, they were very specific use that will no longer. They were done specifically for certain students who've moved on to the 9th grade or something like that. But a lot of them are reusable, and I use them in 4 subjects. I teach geography, I teach literacy, I teach advanced algebra, and I teach social studies. And that's a great way to connect all those curriculums, and it's a great way to differentiate with all those students at the same time. So I will, like for instance, my advanced algebra book, and there's a video on Katie's Hangout where I've augmented their textbook. And I have lots of one-off pieces of printed material hanging on the walls of my classroom, including posters, where I embed audio instructions, audio projects, and augmented content that I want students to be directed to without having to drown in Google search results that don't make any sense to them. So that's just some of the things that I actually am doing right now. I've made some videos of myself giving instruction. I think it's great that a kid can put me in their backpack and take me home with them. And augmented reality lets me do that. And that's getting to be kind of a cliche now, but it's a powerful tool to be able to have a student check in with their instructions. Plus, they can't say they didn't understand or they didn't get the instructions anymore either. So, I mean, I'm just doing a lot of things. I suggest you look on the Hangout website for a couple of the examples that I've posted. And for me, and I think Katie too, that's part of the whole thrill of all this thing is we get to exercise our creative muscles too while we're doing this. And it's great for students to do that too. That's kind of the other side of the coin right now, and I do have kids making content. And if the content is of a certain quality, I will make that augmentation for all the other students to enjoy and learn from as well. That's not always the case, however, so. But that's okay. I mean, they're all learning things. I use a lot of tools, explain everything. We use Pages. I use Google Maps. I use, lots of different tools. And I've gotten pretty good with being able to do the kinds of things that Katie Ann is talking about, 360s and digital image manipulation and things like that, and lots of 3D object creation too. I've been doing this year too. So it's like, it's a lot of fun and it's very powerful. And I don't know if that answered your question or not, but
yeah, it definitely does. I didn't realize the scope of what you can accomplish with this. So no, you definitely answered my question. I'm
still realizing the scope of what I can accomplish, and I don't know that we'll ever finish.
No, thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to show where that can be found in the group for those that are watching. In our group, our Augmented Reality for Education group, I have a widescreen, so I see 3 rows or 4 rows. If you scroll down, you're going to see some videos that Doug's posted, and you'll see his name right there, and those are the videos that he's talking about that he shared, and I really appreciate you sharing, Doug. Sorry you shared in one and then I deleted it. You had to reshare.
There are more. I just haven't had the time to put them up, but I will put more up. So
yeah,
lots of positive comments on them too. So
they're awesome. I really love them. So there's a couple there, and if there's anything that people find, they post it in the group. I do have a section though, as for resources. So for the people that are new to augmented reality or just want more information, more tools to use, if you go to the resources, we try to post some useful resources there. I also have a Symbaloo board. You'll have to subscribe to the Symbaloo board because it doesn't show everything. It cuts it off. If you add it to yours, you'll see everything. And I only put tools that I find that are useful in education. See, it's cutting off a whole bunch. But if you click on Start Using, you'll get all of them. And there's tons, and I'm adding to it all the time. And I don't know, did anybody go outside last night and see the 2 planets aligning?
Oh. This was Venus and Jupiter last night?
Yes.
Oh, I read about it. I missed it. Actually, it wouldn't have worked anyway because we had...
It as well.
Well, it was awesome. I used, I want to say, I used the Star Walk app, which is a paid one, and then I used like Skyview, which is a free one, and it's augmented so that you can see the planets, and we held it up, and you could literally see the alignment and the planets, and it was awesome. So, and I need to write a blog post on that. So that is literally augmented reality, you know, outside the classroom, but you can still use those apps inside the classroom. It just blows my mind what we can do. So I put useful apps that are for education on this board, and there's going to be more. I mean, this is a industry that is going to boom. People see the impact that augmented reality has in education. For example, NASA now has 3 apps that have augmented parts to them. And then, of course, all the different Star Walk ones or sky views, and the coloring pages are up there. Layar's up there, Erasma, Blipbar, Daiquiri, Daiquiri Studio. So I try to put the most useful tools on this board and then direct people to that. We also have in the group a Padlet board. It's our AR idea board, and that's at the beginning of the group. If you click on that, you're going to go to a Padlet board, and this is where people are showing things that they're doing in the classroom, and I have some up. I have other teachers posting. Feel free to steal any of these ideas or to add to these ideas to the board, and it's growing. I love it that people are sharing. Say that again.
If you look at the picture on the far left, those are my students doing the interactive timeline.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for posting that.
Yeah, I found that as I was going through the resources in the community, so I put that up there yesterday.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it when teachers post. I love that they share because I'm limited on what I can do with my students, so it's great to see what other people are doing. And yeah, always take pictures because then that's how we can show how it's being used in the classroom. Okay. So now I'm back. Do you have any other questions that we can answer, or if we have a person watching? I have several viewers. If you have a question, if you go up to the top, there are 9 little squares. You click on that, you should see Q&A, and then you can type in and I will see your questions. Susan has a question. She wants to know how it's different from QR code. Very good question, Susan. QR codes are very, very limited. It's going to redirect you to something that is online. So a QR code can maybe take you to a website, and you can't really, I mean, that's all it does. It takes you there, or it'll play an audio. I've seen it where they've done a QR code that'll bring up usually it's a website or audio, or video, or sometimes it's a video. It's not very interactive. All it is redirecting you. It's a simple way, like a quick button, a shortcut to the online content. QR codes, yeah, you can get a reader, and usually we've trained everybody really well that when you see a QR code, any of those QR code readers will work. AR is a little different. AR is like QR codes on steroids. They just take it beyond. You can add interactive 3-dimensional objects within AR. You can add, all sorts of stuff. Animated lessons.
Any type of digital content.
Right, any digital content, and you can have more than one. We were designing my business. I'm redoing my business card. So I was online with Og that most of the morning, and we are redesigning it, and my business card's going to give you 4 unique augmented experiences from one business card. It's going to like play a video of me talking about using augmented reality in the classroom. It's going to take you to my website. It's going to give you examples of using augmented reality in the classroom. So it's very interactive. You do have to use the app that goes with the company that you choose. So if you have a Color, not Color, it's Quiver. I'm going to have to get that in my head. A Quiver coloring page, you have to use their app. Or if you have a Cromville coloring page, you have to use their app. The app goes with the Trigger, the company that's made it. So if you create in the Dockery Studio, then you have to use the Dockery app. If you create in the Erasmus Studio, you have to use the Erasmus app to make it interactive. I just think augmented reality just takes learning to the next level. QR codes are great for like really quick redirecting, great for little kids that can't type in a website to get them there quick, like it's a shortcut. But if you want a true interactive experience and you want to have an experience, so you want to be immersed in a 360-degree environment, you want a 3D model that you can interact, pop out, like I know they're working on one for the brain where it pops out and you can pull it apart and see the different parts of the brain, then you're going to want augmented reality. Or if you want to hold that heart in your hand and go all the way down to the valves and watch how it pumps out the blood and see the pulsing and the beat, you're going to want augmented reality because it's interactive. If you just want to redirect them to a website to read about or look at, then you can use a QR code. Hopefully that explains it.
The only thing I'll add to that is the QR code does not provide any interface.
Right.
It's just this symbol we've all learned how to recognize, but really good AR will have something that does more than just get your attention when you're looking at your device. It might have information that's integral to what you're trying to do to begin with, and then it's further augmented by interacting with it. QR code is just, you know, funny little square with a bunch of splotches on it, and it serves its purpose, but Katie's description is right. It's like, you know, AR is a QR code to the 8th power. I mean, it's just much more robust and powerful and dynamic and interactive, and really renders QR codes obsolete, by the way, in my opinion. There's no need for a QR code once you understand how AR works. They can do everything that any QR code can and about 1,000 times more. So even the Layer app, by the way, reads QR codes. If you scan a QR code with Layer, it understands them innately and gives you the option of actually going to the destination or not, which is a great thing. Usually when you scan a QR code, you're there. You don't press a button or anything. It automatically takes you to its destination. So, which isn't always a good thing.
I agree. Like I said, it's a shortcut. It's to redirect you to something really quick.
I admit it. I'm a QR code hater. Okay, I admit it. So.
Well, they have its purpose. I mean, if you want something that you don't want to, you know, all the bells and whistles, you just want to redirect, especially little kids, a QR code may fit your need. Like I said, with apps, whatever fits your need at the time, whatever you need it to do, you're going to use the app that works. I was going to say something I forgot. Oh, I forget. And I thought it was really good too. Okay, maybe I might remember. We do have several viewers, so remember if you have a question or a comment, make sure that you put in the Q&A and I will see it and can hopefully answer it, or maybe somebody on our panel can answer it. So feel free to pop those questions up and we will do our best to answer them. Let's see, what was I going to say? I can't remember. It's one of those days. Nothing wants to work for me. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I got a new project. You want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Current events. I've been asked to do a bi-monthly current event where you have or it'll be 2 triggers, one for the world and one for national, the United States current events, and the content will change. The trigger won't. So whatever's kind of popular, then that will become the story. It'll be an animated story, and then you'll have worksheets that go with it, and the kids can't, with the higher order thinking, Common Core questions will be there, and the kids can scan the trigger, answer the questions, write about it, and then it'll change every other week. Doesn't that sound cool?
It does. It really does.
And you can make that into an interactive notebook. So you could put the trigger or triggers, if you want to do both of them, on the cover of the notebook, and then or a binder, and have the pages in there, and the kids can then put the story and then fill out the page each time they scan it, and they'll get a different story.
So when you're talking about interactive notebooks, you're talking about each student having his or her own notebook, and the trigger images are inside the notebook?
Yes. And I use just a plain spiral notebook, or you can use a binder or however you want.
Right.
But I made one for a math class, and the triggers, I used Augmented for the triggers, so the ones I've made, they have this teacher community called Teach Connect. And if you tell them I sent you, they'll give you a free account to the Teach Connect. And then you can go see all the triggers I've made. And if you're looking just for math, you can do a search for math, and everything will pop up, and you can print those off and use them. So I have stuff on like decimals, fractions, integers. It's geared to 7th grade, but I have teachers, after I've shown the notebook at 2 conferences, go, can you please make some more younger age? So I'm pretty sure I'll be adding to that group. But you'll get, when you scan it, you'll get different. They're not all the same. It's not like every time you scan it, you're going to get a video or anything. I really love Glogster, so I know how to embed it. So when you scan the trigger, the interactive digital poster pops out, and then the kids can interact with it. I like to be interactive because if it's not interactive, it's just another website, right? So you can make interactive notebooks for math, language arts, science, social studies. You can make these current event triggers or worksheets into an interactive notebook. So I will have more. I'm working on that. I made the triggers today, so I'll have more as soon as I figure out how I want to lay out the worksheets. But they'll be the same worksheets, so or maybe a variety of different ones, and the kids can. But it'll be the same trigger, so the kids will scan it and answer the questions or do whatever is on the worksheet. So it's a truly, hopefully, truly interactive experience, and it changes.
You've got me thinking, because in our county social studies department, all the students are supposed to have interactive notebooks, but not interactive in the sense where augmented reality is involved, but interacting with projects and putting in warm-up questions, exit tickets, that kind of thing. So this is taking that just to the next level. So I'm very intrigued with that whole concept.
Awesome. And I don't have it with me. It's in my crate because I'm presenting yet again. So I have all that packed away for that conference. Maybe next Wednesday I can pull it out and show it on air, what it looks like. I kind of kept it kind of to myself just because I'm still working on it. I haven't quite finished the entire thing. It's half done because math is not really my strong suit, and trying to match all the Common Core and stuff with it and making the foldables. But like I said, if you have the foldables, all you do is have to add the trigger to it.
Yeah.
or if this the notes, the kids are writing notes, they can glue or you can even put them on sticker or labels. Print these off on labels and just have them stick to the page. Easy peasy, right? Okay. Susan says that's very cool. Thank you. I really blew, when I presented this in Florida and Texas the last 2 weeks, I blew teachers' minds away, especially math, because they come in all huffy, and I'm sorry, but they come in, stalking in, and goes, what do you have for math? And I'm like, I got you covered. Because they've seen the animated, for the kindergarten, the flashcards, the little AR flashcards, and they've seen the coloring pages, and they've seen the blocks for science, and they've seen the NASA thing, and they come in and like, what do you have for math? I got it. And now I'm getting social studies on top of it. So I'm going to be, full circle. I'm going to have every subject covered when I go to conferences and just blow people's minds away is my goal.
Hey, Katie?
Yes.
Can I try to share something on screen?
Yes, and I will direct it so you can. So give me 1 second.
Yep. I'm going to put up what I call, each of my students have their own AR page, and it's hung on the wall in the classroom. And I'm not prepared to show you how I've augmented it, but I just want you to see the page so you can get an idea of what can be done with something like that. So let's see, how do I do this?
Okay, if you go to the green square,
yep.
And you click present to everyone, you should get choices, and one of them is your screen.
It says you are presenting to everyone. Do you guys see my screen?
We see you at the moment. Until you go to the green square, it has a white arrow in it, and this looks like a green monitor.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll ask what you want to present or share, and you click on your screen.
No, it's saying stop, or you're presenting to everyone already.
Well, that's because okay, let me stop it. I'll let you put it up first.
Okay.
Okay, now you see where the chat and the toolboxes are on the side? Yep. Or it's on the side for me. There's one that's green with the wide arrow.
Got it.
You click that, and then I think your choice would be your screen or screen in Google Plus, or I don't remember.
Entire screen, yeah.
Yeah, do your entire screen, and then go to wherever you want, and then I will direct it so that everybody sees it.
Okay.
Okay, now we see it.
Jean is calling me.
She's calling me too. She can't call me.
I declined. So I have this. This is a document I made in Pages. I've taken out the student's name where you see that little gray scribble right there. But every one of my students at the beginning of the year gets one of these pages, and it's printed in color, and it gets put up in the wall in the classroom. And each one of these sections allows me to put dynamic augmented interactions there. This is social studies up here, language arts over here. These are organizational skills. This is current events down here. And then this usually is just some kind of a connection with the student that I have. This particular student was obsessed with peanut butter. So we put peanut butter there. But everybody has their own unique page, and I can deliver individualized content to them whenever I need to. Or I can deliver the same thing to everybody pretty easily too, just by using these pages as a trigger. I made this in Pages. It took me about 10 minutes to put one of these together, and I don't ever have more than 12 students in my classes, so that's a factor I understand. So, and I just wanted to put that up there for people to see. That's all. And then I stop. Did I stop?
Hang on, I have to stop you. Oh, Jean, I can't answer your call. She's trying, but I can't
She
see
should
her.
be able to just go on to the event and click join, though.
She's on her phone.
She still should still be able to do that.
Yeah, usually when she accepts, I can see her and I can click on her to pull her in, but I see her school one. I'm not seeing the one that's tied to her phone. And she's gonna call again. Jean, I love you. I really do, and I can't pull you in. If you go to the event page, maybe you can click on join. All I see is your school one with your school email, which isn't tied to your phone. I'm not for sure why. Google is not like me today. Really, it's been a day with it. I know she's watching, and I feel so bad. I want her to come in.
Katie, I am going to have to go, but I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I've learned so much, and I'm definitely going to be checking in with you again.
Awesome. If you need help, I'm just a message away.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
It was my pleasure, definitely. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Well, actually, that is our time, Doug. I feel bad that I couldn't get Jean in. Hopefully, hopefully the next one will go better.
But why can't you answer her call in?
Because I'm recording, and I can only do one at a time. If I wasn't recording, I think I could answer it, but it'll say end this call before I could accept the other one.
Couldn't you have accepted her on your phone?
My pizza.
Yeah, while it's still warm, right?
Yes.
On my phone?
Good.
So that's my oven roasted broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
And
She did hang up.
I'm confused.
I know. It's crazy. Okay. Google's not liking me. Okay. Well, this is actually our time is up. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Doug, for your insights on LAR and the things that you do in your class. I will definitely be dropping those creative tools for augmented reality in the group. And Tim wants to know our schedule. We have this hangout. We're trying to have this hangout every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And it does get recorded, and I do post the recordings in the group under the Let's Talk AR. So feel free to watch them, share them, join us next time live in the panel. I would love to have more. Susan says, thank you so much. I joined the group and the Remind group. Yes, join the Remind group because Google sent out so many reminders that they are going to end their text feature from the calendar for events. So if you rely on that, I think that is ending. If you join the Remind group, then I have these already auto set, and it'll send you a reminder when the group is going to meet or hang out. Okay, I think that's all the questions. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact anybody in the group, and we will try to answer them to our best ability. Have a good night. Thanks, Doug, for coming.